Hey guys, it's the Pasta Reader here. I just want to say that this story does have some violent and graphic details. If you are gaggy, wheezy, stuff like that, or you're just too young to watch this, you might want to click away from this video. And if you don't, and you're annoyed from this warning, well, let's get straight to it. The air was warm, the sun was shining, and every pony in Ponyville was having a glorious day. The town square was bustling and crowded, and busy ponies filled the streets. All the pony folks seemed to have somewhere specific to be, all except Rainbow Dash. Her place was in the sky. She tore freely through the air, speeding one way and the next, buzzing the treetops and racing the wind. The blue Pegasus swooped over a schoolyard, much to the delight of the children, then climbed several hundred feet and dove, streaking downward as fast as she could. Seconds before hitting the ground, her wings flew open. She pulled back into the clear blue. Rainbow felt alive. Suddenly, Dash remembered that she had somewhere else to be. She was supposed to meet Pinkie Pie in 5 minutes. Dash had gotten so caught up in her exercise that she never forgotten that Pinkie Pie had asked to meet her at Sugar Cube Corner at 3. Pinkie hadn't said why or what they'd be doing, but Dash knew that with Pinkie, it could be anything. Dash wasn't sure if she really wanted to go, though. She was so engaged with her stunts that she thought about blowing off Pinkie and continue flying. But Dash's consciousness got the better of her. She knew that it would hurt Pinkie Pie's feelings. After all, Pinkie had said it was going to be something special just for the two of them. Dash considered it and thought, why not? What did she have to lose? Heck, it might be more pranking. Pinkie might have found a bunch more stuff to pull on folks. They had so much fun the last time. Dash kicked into overdrive to make up for lost time and sped to her appointment. When Dash walked into the store, she was immediately greeted by her host, who was bouncing in excitement. "Yay, you're here! I've been waiting all day," said the jumping pony. "Sorry if I'm a little late, Pinkie. I was just doing my afternoon exercises and lost track of time," Dash apologized. Pinkie giggled and responded in a gleefully reassuring tone. "Oh, that's okay. You're here now. What's a few more minutes? I've been so excited thinking about all the fun stuff we're gonna do. I haven't stopped bouncing since I woke up. I almost forgot to breathe. I'm so happy." Dash gave a slight, uncomfortable laugh. She had always appreciated Pinkie Pie's friendly, outgoing way of life, but Pinkie Pie's overabundant enthusiasm almost creeped her out. Dash maintained a polite expression, however. If Pinkie Pie was this worked up, whatever she had planned must be good. So you ready to get started, Rainbow Dash? I got everything all ready," the pink pony said. Dash psyched herself up. "You betcha, Pinkie. So what you got planned? We gonna prank somebody? I got a couple of good ones I've been thinking about. Or maybe you got some stunts you think I should try. Or perhaps making cupcakes," Pinkie Pie happily announced. "Baking?" Dash was disappointed. "Pinkie, you know I'm not good at baking. Remember last time?" "Oh, that's not a problem at all. I only need your help making them. I'll be doing most of the work," Pinkie explained. Dash thought about it for a second. "Well, alright, I guess that's okay. What exactly do you need me to do?" "That's the spirit. Here you go." Pinkie Pie handed Dash a cupcake. Dash was puzzled. "I thought I was helping you bake." "You will be. I made this one just for you before you got here." "So, is this taste testing or something?" "Sorta," Pinkie Pie said. Dash shrugged and popped the pastry into her mouth. She chewed a bit and swallowed. "Not bad." "Okay, now what?" Dash asked. "Now," Pinkie Pie informed her, "you take a nap." Puzzled, Dash opened her mouth, but instantly felt lightheaded. A wave of dizziness washed over her. The world spun, and seconds later, she collapsed to the floor. When Dash regained consciousness, she found herself in a dark room. She tried to shake her head, but found that a taut leather strap held it firmly in place. She struggled to move, but the braces around her chest and limbs glued her to the rack and formed a series of sturdy planks, which spread her legs wide apart. Dash's wings were the only part of her not tied down. They fluttered frantically while she struggled to escape. As she writhed, Pinkie jumped suddenly into her line and said, "Goody, you're awake! Now we can get started," Pinkie stated gleefully. She bounded into the darkness and quickly reappearing, pushing a small cart covered with a cloth. "Pinkie, what's going on? I can't move," Dash said urgently. "Well, duh. That's because you're tied down," chided Pinkie Pie.
That's why you can't move. I didn't think you need to be told that.
But why? What's happening? I thought you said I was going to help you make cupcakes.
You are helping. You see, I ran out of my special ingredient, so I need to get more.
Special ingredient? Dash was now breathing heavily and starting to panic. What special ingredient? Pinky giggled and responded.
You silly!
Dash's eyes widened and her face contorted in fear. Then she started to laugh and said, in a voice bordering on hysteria, "You really got me there, Pinkie Pie. I mean, tricking me into think I'm gonna get made into a cupcake? I gotta tell you, this is your best prank yet. You win, you're the best." Pinkie only giggled even more.
Aw, thanks, Dash, but I haven't done any pranks today, so I can't accept your praise.
Dash was struggling again. Pinkie, come on, this isn't funny.
Then why were you laughing before? Dash could answer.
Pinkie grabbed the cloth and wiped it off the cart. On the cart was a tray of containing vicious, sharp medical tools and knives, carefully organized and really sharp, as well as a large medical bag. Dash was now in full panic mode. She was starting to hyperventilate. Her mind was racing as she tried to reason with the pink pony. "You can't do this, Pinkie Pie. I'm your friend."
"I know you are, and that's why I'm so happy that I got you here. We gotta share your last moments together, just you and me."
Pinkie was skipping again. "But the other ponies will wonder where I am. When the clouds pile up, they'll come looking for me, and then you'll get found out," Dash cried in desperation.
"Oh, Dash," said
Pinkie Pie.
"Don't worry, there are plenty of Pegasus ponies to take care of a few clouds. And besides, no one will find out. I mean, how long do you think I've been doing this?"
And with that ominous statement, the light suddenly came to life and revealed the rest of the room. Oh no. Dash reeled in horror as at the image presented to her. The room was decorated with the typical but twisted Pinkie Pie flair. Colorful streamers of dried entrails fluttered around the ceiling. Brightly painted skulls of all sizes were attached to the walls, and organs done up in pastels filled with helium were tied to the backs of the chairs. Tables and chairs were made out of bones and preserved flesh of past ponies. Dash cringed upon seeing the centerpiece of the table nearest to her. The head of four foals, their eyes closed as they were sleeping, were wearing party hats made from their own skin. With a thrill of terror, Dash recognized one of them as Apple Bloom's classmate Twist. Dash's eyes started back and forth, and then fell upon a patchwork banner hanging from the rafters, made from several tan pony hides. The words "Life is a Party" were scrawled on it in blood red. Dash's attention was brought back by a party horn unraveling and tickling her nose. She gaped at Pinkie Pie, who was standing right in front of her. The party pony was wearing a dress quilted from dried skin, emblazoned with cutie marks, and on the back were fluttered 6 Pegasus wings, all of different colors. As the Earth Pony skipped in excitement, her necklace of severed unicorn horns clacked together loudly.
"Like it?"
Pinkie Pie said.
"I made it myself."
Desperately, Dash pleaded with the smiling pony before. "Pinkie, please, I'm sorry if I did anything to you. I didn't mean it. Please let me go. I promise I won't tell anybody."
"Oh, Dash, you didn't do anything. It's just that your number came up, and, well, I don't make the rules. We can't turn back now."
Dash was tearing up. How could this be happening?
"Aw, don't be sad, Dash,"
said Pinkie Pie.
"Look, this cheer you up. I brought you a friend."
Seemingly out of nowhere, Pinkie produced a brightly painted blue and yellow skull. It was about pony size, but had a very defining feature, a beak. Dash gaped in shock. Is that?
"Hey, Dash, let's hang together."
"Hey, Dash, let's hang together. These ponies are lame-os. Dweebs.
Pinkie mimicked.
"I got her right before she left town. Remember when I left the party for about 20 minutes? Well, that wasn't enough time to play with her, of course. I had to wait till after the party to do that. But boy, am I glad I did. It was worth it for the flavor alone. Griffins taste like 2 animals at once. It's amazing. I know she didn't have a number like everyone else in Ponyville, but when was I gonna get another chance to try Griffin? I probably should have asked where she came from so I could have gotten more, but I forgot. I'll tell you what, though, she was quite the fighter. She lasted a long time, which was a lot of fun for me. I got the chance to play with somebody other than a pony and try new things. It's too bad she had such a meanie mouth. She said so much bad stuff that I just had to take her tongue out. You know, bad language makes for bad feelings, Rainbow Dash.
Dash didn't have anything to say. She just sobbed and writhed in her tight bonds.
Well,
said Pinky with an air of finality.
That's enough reminiscing. It's time to begin.
Putting down Gilda's skull, the pink pony gripped a scalpel in the left cleft of her hoof and walked over to Dash's right flank. Without any flair, Pinky placed the blade an inch above Dash's cutie mark and began a circular cut around it. Dash shouted in pain and tried to desperately pull away, but the braces held her still. Finishing the incision, Pinky grabbed a curved skinning knife from the tray. Screwing up her face in concentration, she worked it under Dash's skin and sliced the hide away from the muscle. Dash ground her teeth as she tearfully watched her flesh peel off. Pinky then moved to the other side and repeated the process on Dash's left flank. Once she had finished, Pinky held up both cutie marks in front of her friend and started to wave them like pom-poms. Dash just whimpered. Her thighs burned like nothing she had felt before. Placing the ragged patches of skin down, Pinky selected a large butcher knife and walked behind the blue Pegasus.
Hope you don't mind. I think I'm gonna go wing it now.
Pinky laughed. She grabbed Dash's left wing in her mouth and played with it for a few seconds, eking it back so sharp the pain reignited the fire in Dash's flanks. Then stretching out the wing, Pinky brought the blade down hard at the base. Instantly, Dash screamed and thrashed her appendage. The movement threw off Pinky's aim. She tried to hit the mark again, but missed, and carved a huge slice in Dash's back.
Dash, you gotta stay still, or I'll keep missing,
scolded Pinky as her friend howled. Pinky took another whack at and hit her target. She swung again and again. Blood sprayed into the air, but Pinky realized she wasn't getting anywhere. The blade was just not going through the bone.
I guess I forgot to sharpen it. I'll try something else,
stated Pinky matter-of-factly as she tossed the knife over her shoulder, embedding the blade into the table. Through the haze of pain and tears, Dash heard the sound of metal box opening and closing.
Got it! Got it! Say, Dash, why do you call it a hacksaw? It doesn't hack. Hacking is what I doing with the knife. This is a saw. I don't get it.
Pinky placed the tool over the mangled flash of last attempt. Standing on her hind legs, she worked the saw back and forth with her front hooves. It sliced effortlessly through bone and skin. The feeling of jagged teeth grinding into her made Dash want to vomit. She watched numbly as her wing flew over her head and landed with a fluff on the table. Pinky moved to the next wing and started sawing. Dash didn't struggle this time. She'd given up trying to fight and focus on the choking back screams of agony. Abruptly, the sawing paused. Pinky was only halfway done, the wing hanging off by a sliver.
Hey, Dash!
Pinky piped up.
Think fast!
Suddenly, Pinky yanked the wing as hard as she could. The bone snapped, but the blue pony's skin held, then tore away. The pull ripped away a long strip of flesh all the way down Dash's back to her rump. The body seized at the unexpected trauma, and her pelvis tensed up. Dash felt a form release between her legs, and her loud, unending melody of pain filled the room. Unable to catch her breath, she blacked out. Dash woke with a gasp. The stench of urine filled her mucus-caked nostrils. As her vision swam into focus, she saw a very pouty Pinkie Pie removing a large adrenaline needle from her chest. Stomping her hooves, the frustrated Pinkie lashed out at her helpless victim.
Didn't anybody teach you any manners? It's very rude to fall asleep when somebody invites you over to spend time with them. How would you like it if I came over to your house and went to sleep? Oh, I'm sorry, Dash. You're so boring, I think I'd take a nap. You think I'm always doing this by myself? I told you how excited I get when I found you were next. I was excited to have a friend to be here with me while I work, but no, you got to be inconsiderate. You know, I thought you were tough. I thought you could handle anything. I had full stand up better than you. Do I have to baby you, huh? Is that how you want me to remember you, as a baby?
As Pinkie stopped to catch her breath, Dash blinked and sobbed softly. Her back was in agony. Her sides were on fire, and there was intense pain in one of her legs. She blinked again. She saw Pinky pop something red into her mouth and began to chew. Noticing Dash's stare, Pinky quickly gulped the morsel down.
What?
Pinky asked.
Oh, this?
She held up another piece.
Well, while you're asleep, I got a little impatient and helped myself to a small sample. I got it from your leg. You're not bad. Want to try some?
Without waiting for a response, Pinky shoved the strip of meat into the revolted Pegasus pony's mouth. Dash gagged and immediately spit it out. Pinky frowned and picked up the chunk of flesh.
If you didn't want it, you could have said no.
She complimented the discarded snotty morsel, then she gulped it up.
It's not like you haven't had my cupcakes before.
Swallowing, Pinky turned her attention to a small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing that it was filled with red, hot coals. Lying on top of the coals were several large nails. As the adrenaline filled her veins, Dash began to panic. Picking up the can, Pinky walked over to Dash's left, holding some tongs with her mouth. Pinky carefully picked up a nail and positioned it at the seam between her victim's front leg and her hoof. Then she grabbed a hammer and took a careful aim. "No, Pinky!" Dash screamed. "No! No!" The hammer came down and punctured Dash's skin. The white-hot burning was too much. Dash screamed as she pulled and thrashed at the braces, causing her raw skin to rub and tear. Pinky tried to line up another L, but couldn't find her aim and let out a frustrated grunt. When Pinky brought the hammer back to take a wild swing, Dash burst out, crying and begging, "Please stop! Please stop! Please stop!" Pinky rolled her eyes, putting down the hammer and tongs. She walked back in front of her friends and stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much when she had a live parasite shoved down her throat. Pinky thought for a minute about what to do next, then had a sudden spark of inspiration. Rotating a wheel on the rack, Pinky laid Dash on her back, then moved to Dash's hind legs, bringing the can with her. Picking up her tools, Pinky drove a searing hot spike of metal directly into the bottom of Dash's hoof. As Dash yelled in pain, Pinky moved around and drove a second nail into another hoof. Next, Pinky went back to her cart and located an enormous battery and controller, which she dragged over to where she was working. She tied copper wires between the terminals and the nails driven into Dash's hoof, then gave Dash a wink and flipped the switch. Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Her body seized and her muscles snapped taut. Dash's hips thrust skyward and her eyes rolled back as she let out a deep throat-shredding cry. Pinky giggled and danced in place. Then she reached down and turned up the juice. Dash's convulsed uncontrollably and her bladder emptied once more. After about 5 minutes, Pinky shut off the power. What wisp of steam rose from the singed fur of Dash's hooves, and the area reeked of cooked flesh and burnt oil. Pinky rotated Dash upright again and tried to snap the drooling, delirious pony back to attention.
Dash! Rainbow Dash, wake up!
Dash moaned and managed to give a weak medicine of weak acknowledgement. Pinky studied her handiwork, then reached into the medicine bag and produced a large syringe.
All right, time for the last round.
Dash focused blearily on the needle, which Pinky took as a question to what it was.
It's a little something to take the pain away.
Pinky informed Dash as she walked around to her victim's ruined back. Dash flinched as Pinky jabbed the needle into the lower part of the blue pony's spine. Moving in the front of her friend, again, Pinky leaned down and elaborated.
In a few moments, you won't be able to feel anything below your rib cage. Then you'll be able to stay awake to watch the harvest.
Dash started to cry again. Pinky, she choked out.
Yeah?
I want to go home. Dash sobbed.
Yeah, I can see you wanting to do that,
replied the party pony.
Sometimes I just want to give up and just say, I'm done with this bed and go to bed. But you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself up and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life.
Dash hung her head and cried. Minutes passed as the drug took effect. Eventually, Dash was completely numb from her chest to her flanks. At this point, Pinky approached with a scalpel, glancing at Dash and smiling. Pinky made a long horizontal cut across the Pegasus pony's pelvis, just above her crotch. Moving up Dash's body, Pinky made a similar incision under her ribs. Finally, Pinky made a long vertical cut down Dash's stomach, connecting the first two.
Looks like I got my eye on you.
Pinky giggled. With a moist, gooey sound, the flaps of skin opened. The sight of her own organs and the lack of feeling caused Dash's breathing to intensify. Pinky carefully sliced open Dash's abdominal sac and grabbed her large intestines. As she separated the organ from the rest of the digestive tract and pulled it out of the new cavity, Pinky grew jovial. Laughing as she gutted her friend, Pinky began to make jokes. Dash was growing weaker from this new source of blood loss. Tried desperately to shut off the macabre comedy act.
Look at me, I'm Rarity.
Pinky laughed, slunging the intestinal tube around her neck, spraying blood in all directions.
Isn't my new scarf just so pretty?
Reaching back inside, she sliced the small intestine off from the bowls. Squeezing out the excess excrement, Pinky filled the slimy organ through her teeth and dragged it back and forth.
Then to say you have to floss every day, Dash.
Dash was barely aware of what was going on anymore. The shock was causing her to fade. Disappointed, Pinky dived back into Blue Pony's guts, ramping up her routine.
Oh, don't go yet, Dash.
Pinky started pulling out the rest of Dash's organs, pausing with each removal.
I know I can be real princess, but you know I'm just kidney with you. You really gotta liver up. Boy, these jokes are getting bladder. Guess you gotta develop a stomach for them.
Pinky placed the discarded pony parts into a bucket, keeping the last ones for a bit longer.
Ooh, bagpipes,
she said, placing the end of Dash's esophagus in her mouth and the stomach in her armpit. She squeezed and a spurt of acid hit her tongue.
Ew, hey look, there's your cupcake, Dash.
Dash didn't hear her tormentor. She had slipped from consciousness minutes ago. Pinky, not yet satisfied, hit Dash with another adrenaline shot. Dash woke up for the last time, her heart pounding. Warm blood flowed out from the wounded chest in great spurts. It wouldn't be long now. Pinky brought Dash around to back again, straddled the Blue Pony's chest, scalpel at ready.
You know, Rainbow Dash, I'm disappointed. I thought you were gonna have lasted longer. I really wanted to spend more time with you before we got here, but I guess it's my fault. I should have taken it a little slower. Oh well, it was really nice knowing you, Dash.
The blade sunk into the blue throat as it worked its way up to Dash's chin, coming back down Pinky's scalpel, then circled Dash's neck. The last thing Rainbow Dash felt was her skin being cut away from her skull, and then the metal of the blade scraping her teeth. Then she was gone. Pinkie Pie stared into the mirror. She had done a really good job, even keeping the eyelids. She winked, and Dash winked back. Pinkie smiled. But still, she was sad that her friend was now gone. Dash had only lasted 15 minutes, not nearly as long as Pinkie had wanted. She looked back at the cadaver hanging in the center of the room, the last of her friend's fluids draining into a pan. Yep, no more Rainbow Dash. As she looked, Pinkie cocked her head. She began to take notice of the fact that there really wasn't much damage to the corpse.
In fact,
The pink pony mused.
I think
An idea exploded in her head. She was good at sewing. She had all the pieces. All she had to do was put them back together. Yeah, she just had to get some stuffing, and bingo, she'd have a Rainbow Dash forever. In fact, thought Pinkie, that's what she'd do for all her best friends when their numbers came up. She was so excited, she skipped right over to the body with her Skinner to get started. The cupcakes could wait. Pinkie had a friend to make.